The Helmsleys came out with Seth Rollins for a promo. They announced that SummerSlam would be a 4-hour show, and even though I knew they'd already made this announcement when they said it, I still got pissed. They booked a bunch of matches for tonight, including Big Show versus Dean Ambrose, Paige versus Sasha Banks, and Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. They were sure to point out these were all new matches, which made me wonder, why are they throwing all of them out there on just a random episode of Raw?
Vinny's so angry that SummerSlam is 4 hours. Maybe it'll be a great show.
Probably would have been better at 3.
Maybe.
Anyway. So Seth said he wanted people to admit he was one of the great WWE champions of all time. At this point, John Cena came out, called Seth a joke, called him a coward, challenged him to a championship match for tonight. Seth began to explain that Cena had not earned a title shot, but Stephanie interrupted him, asked the people what they wanted, and of course they all wanted the match. And then she said no, because she's mean. And Hunter said, we're going to do that match. It's going to be Cena versus Rollins, but not for the WWE title, for Cena's U.S. title. And that was that, and they left.
That was it. I have nothing more to add.
No. Dean Ambrose versus Big Show with Miz on commentary. Show tore Dean's shirt apart. Thank God Dean is in shape. Miz was, did I say he was on commentary?
Mm-hmm.
All right, he was. And he said Ryback should be stripped of the IC title due to injury, just like they had done to Daniel Bryan, which makes sense. So the story of this was, Dean made his comeback. Show hit a chokeslam, and Dean actually kicked out, which surprised me. So Show hit another chokeslam, and Dean rolled outside. Dean actually fought his way back in and went for a tope, but ran right into the knockout punch, and Show rolled in to win by countout. And I thought this was actually a great finish. Because 1, you don't see it very often. It was different and new. 2, it put Dean over as a lunatic who would not quit. And 3, Show still won in a dominant manner. He beat this guy up so bad he cannot even get in the ring.
Huh.
I thought this was a rare example of a great countout.
You know, I watched it and I couldn't decide if it was great or if it sucked, because they did tell the story that this Dean Ambrose fella was never going to give up, and no matter what you did to the guy, he was going to keep coming back until he literally could not come back anymore. That was the story. Now, I guess that's a great story, except for the fact that he was killed 4 fucking times. You know what I mean?
Well, sort of.
You had nothing, buddy.
He never died.
He chokeslammed you, and then he chokeslammed you again, and then he super kicked you, and then he speared you on the floor, and then he punched you in the face. And through all of that, yeah, you kept coming back, but what the fuck did you do to this guy? Nothing!
Well, at the end, the Big Show did go for a spear, and Dean dodged, and he ate the barrier.
Well, that did happen.
Yeah.
Now, did either of you,
Why
by
the
chance...
fuck was your bass turned up?
No idea.
Okay, that's fixed now. I was like, Jesus Christ, what happened?
Maybe when you really originally set it up, you thought I would be there.
Oh, is that what it was?
I don't know.
You need more than bass, buddy.
I need a lot more than bass. So, did either of you happen to watch the Dean Ambrose promo on the website?
I did not.
I went there to see if they had after I watched Raw Tuesday afternoon. After the show, I went over to see if Cena's nose had been found yet. And happened to see a link. It said something like Ambrose responds to Vince McMahon's nickname for him. I thought, uh-oh. That's a 2-minute video. I'll watch that. So what it was it's right after Dean got backstage. He's still breathing hard and sweaty. And he says, the thing is, he just talked to Vince, and Vince called him a cockroach. And Dean said, nah, you can step on a cockroach. I'm more like the Terminator. And he went off. But the point is, once he got through that intro, Dean's promo was so great. It was awesome. Talked about how tough he was, how he would never be beaten, and even the Giant couldn't kill him, and he was trying, scratching, clawing to get back into that ring to fight that Giant, and he got countered out, and it sucks. And it sucked that he came up short. But he wanted to try it again, and he dared the Giant. You bet you can't do it twice. It was awesome.
Sounds an awful lot like the promo from, what was it? It was, you were ranting about this. Somebody lost a match, and what the hell was this? Somebody help me out here. The pay-per-view. Nobody remembers?
I don't have a damn clue what you're talking about.
Jesus Christ, what was it? There was a match, and somebody lost. Nothing?
You're right.
Nobody? Nothing? Fuck it. Who cares? Anyway, the point of it was the guy did his promo explaining it on the website. And it was actually really great, and all I could think was, why don't they do this shit on Raw? Why is all the best stuff on the website?
Yes.
That was my point.
That's the same point I had here. Fandango versus Neville was a squash. Neville won with a red arrow. And then Stardust appeared on the big screen. He congratulated Neville for saving the day again. He talked about heroes. He quoted his dad, mentioned heroes who wore green hoods, and then he tore up a magazine, which I assume had the dude from Arrow on it, but it was on so briefly I couldn't actually see the magazine. Mm-hmm. There was a picture. And then Stardust vowed to save the world from overbearing do-gooders, asked Neville to be his hero, and Neville had no idea what to make of this, and neither did the fans.
That about covers it.
Yeah, why didn't he hold that picture up like a fraction of a second longer so you could actually make out who it was?
Well, maybe it's like a slow build tease. You know what I mean?
They've been slowly building it for about a month and a half now.
Well, you got to take your time. Yeah. I'm going to go crazy if I don't remember this match at the pay-per-view and what the promo was.
Be a short trip.
What is the, what was it, Battleground? Was it Battleground that we just watched?
I believe that was the most recent pay-per-view.
All right, let me find this here because it's going to drive me crazy. Let me go through all the matches, and we'll figure this out together. We had Orton and Sheamus. That wasn't it. We had the Primetime Players. That definitely wasn't it. It's John Cena and Kevin Owens. After Kevin Owens tapped out. Maybe it wasn't you that was mad. It might have been Sempervivi. I confused my co-host. But anyway, the point was Kevin Owens went and he did this interview, and he's just talking about how, he's asked about submitting, and he goes, do you have a family? Because I have a family, and I have a child, and I've got to provide for them. And so what I did was I made a conscious decision when I was stuck in that hold to save myself and return to fight another day. Great promo.
Oh, yeah.
He explained everything. Was it anywhere on Raw? Of course not. Not one single mention of this on Raw. In fact, the night after that loss, he didn't get to cut one promo on Raw. So, yeah, that was the one I was looking for.
Paige, Becky, and Charlotte were having a meeting backstage when Team Bad arrived. They all talked trash for a while, something about the babyfaces worrying Tamina and Naomi would interfere. Paige versus Sasha Banks. First, we got a Sasha Banks video profile.
That was good.
It was very good. And then they had a very long match even before they went to commercial. They come back from commercial, and during the break, the 4 women on the floor were kicked out so they wouldn't interfere. And then we just got probably another 6-7 good minutes of good one-on-one action. And the crowd was not into it early, but the longer it went, the better it got, the more the crowd liked it. Like 15 minutes into this, Paige was making her comeback. The place was behind her. And then Sasha hit the bank statement out of nowhere for the submission win. And not that this was the match of the year. I've seen both of them actually have many better matches.
I can guarantee this was not the match of the year.
No, of course not. But the point is, it confirmed what those of us who watch NXT have said for months. If you give these women time to show what they can do, they can get themselves over, and they'll make the division something worth watching on their own.
This was the best of the matches they've done since they started this new attempt to build up the women's division. I will say that. Did we talk about Fandango versus Neville? Did I just completely skip that?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it for 5 seconds.
Okay, that must be why.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point for the women's match is that this was good. It took a long time for the crowd to get into it. I think that they still aren't sure what the hell's going on with these women.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No.
Okay, listen. How many people do you really think are watching NXT every week on the network?
I don't know.
Okay, probably maybe 400,000, okay? So how many people are watching Raw every week?
More.
Let's say 4 million. Actually, it's significantly more than that, but that's the average, okay? Probably about 8 million people are watching some portion of Raw every Monday night. So the number of people that are actually watching Raw, that watch the NXT women's division, is very, 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 very small.
Sure.
You got a vocal minority who's chanting for the women and everything like that, like Ed is there, and Jim and Virginia, and these guys that are like really into it. But the vast majority of the audience, they aren't into the women's division in NXT. So they trot these new girls out there, and for Hunter and Steph and you and me and Craig, everybody is like, oh, it's going to be the new renaissance of the women's division. For probably, 70% of this audience, they're like, more girls to do bad matches. And they're sitting there expecting the matches to suck. And after about 10 minutes, they kind of are like, this match doesn't suck, and they kind of get into it. It's going to be a long time before the fans are into these matches.
Okay.
It's been too many years of shit.
I actually agree with you 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did find one gentleman that had a sign that said Divas Revolution, and they showed him before the match holding his sign up, and apparently he was the only one, because in the second match that the women had, he held up the sign again, and the camera spotted him again. So that kind of proves your point.
They got that one.
Oh, yeah, one guy.
Yeah, and then my son is not into the women's matches. So he was actually, I know he's 9, but he was audibly complaining that they used to only have one match, Dad. What's going on?
Have you explained to him that it's good girls now? Does he understand the concept of new women coming in and trying to start over again?
I tried. He's
So
not
he doesn't.
buying it.
I remember watching a pay-per-view with your family and your son. He was probably 7 at the time. And some of the women came out. It was the Bellas or whatever. But they came out for a match. And your son just said, girls. The very concept just disgusted him.
Well, he's 9.
Yeah.
Craig should be enjoying it now while he can.
All right. Renee interviewed Seth backstage. Seth explained he had won plenty of matches on his own lately, listed men like Cesaro and other names I didn't write down. And he said every month he defended his championship against the best men in the company, while Cena did his U.S. title challenges against guys who were not good enough to face Seth. Good points. Rusev and Summer Rae came out for a promo.
Oh, here we go. This is when the show turned around. These
Don't even say these. With him.
Oh, come on. Summer Rae was awesome, too. Everybody in this segment was great.
The amazing
But
thing
yes.
was, this whole segment was a 10-minute bit where one guy backstage said, I think it'd be cool if Lana rubbed Summer's face into a fish.
Yes.
And they built a 10-minute skit around that one sight gag. This should have been awful, but everyone involved made it great.
That's right.
So Rusev explained he was smitten. His heart wanted to burst out for the woman who had healed his soul. The always hot and obedient Summer.
That is her name now. The ever hot and obedient Summer.
He explained it was a woman's privilege to obey, but
Yeah.
a man's privilege to give gifts.
Yes.
And tonight he would show us how to treat a special woman. First gift was a puppy. He said, this puppy has skinny legs, it has an ugly face, and it's neutered. We'll call him Dog Ziggler. And that was actually a funnier joke than anything Dolph Ziggler has ever said.
Hey. Maybe there's a stand-up career in the future for Mr. Rusev.
There's a lot of things this man can do. Very talented. His next gift was a dead fish body.
No head.
Yeah, like you find at the grocery store. And Summer was confused. He told her to hold it up, and she did so with a smile because she is obedient.
And hot.
And hot. And Rusev explained they were going to name this after another cold fish, and they called it Lana. They had a hearty laugh of this. And then Lana came out, told them to shut up, called Summer a wannabe Lana. Summer called her a cold fish. So Lana kicked her in the thigh, essentially got her back, like this was MMA, and rubbed her face in the fish, and then she left. And the whole time, Rusev was not stopping her from kicking his woman or rubbing her face in the fish. He was just standing there screaming. And then she stormed up the ramp, and Rusev picked up the fish and threw it up the ramp like Peyton Manning. Just launched this thing. And like I say, this was a 10-minute skit built around one sight gag, and that was it.
I am a huge Rusev fan, as everybody is well aware. He's the best. And yes, everybody involved with this was great. I found out who wrote Rusev's dialogue, by the way. It is the people at Radar Online. I don't know if you read the newest thing from Mr. Hogan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There was a new one today.
Oh, jeez.
No, I got to read this line. Let me find it here. Let's see. What the hell's today?
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. This is the one where he was talking about the half-gay guy
Oh, yeah.
that lived next door that he said was enamored with Linda. You may recall this. Undeterred, it says here, the 61-year-old continued with this disgusting homophobic bile. Where the hell's the good line here? There's a great line. Keep going and I'll come up with it here.
All right. Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores. The match is completely irrelevant.
Here it is. But the homeowner is not the only one Hulk dragged through the mud of his hate. Who the fuck writes like that? I know the answer is Radar Online, but Jesus Christ. So I'm sure they're doing Rusev's awesome dialogue. It's awesome from Rusev. It's not awesome in Radar Online.
There was Bridget recorded a Good Morning America for, I forget which celebrity was on there, but watching through that the other day, and they're doing their news bit. And did y'all see the fire at the Cosmopolitan Pool in the Strip in Las Vegas?
I heard about that.
Yes.
That could have affected us when we were there.
The truth is, the fire looked much, much worse than it actually was.
Yes, there was just a little bit of smoke.
There was tons of smoke.
There was palm trees on fire.
There was the pool area, the outdoor pool area was on fire. Had it not been contained, it could have been a very bad deal. But it was contained. It's a very small deal. I think they've already reopened the pool. But the point of this is, I'm watching this footage, and I'm seeing a small fire and a shit ton of smoke. And I'm listening to the news anchor say, visitors on the Strip saw a towering inferno. I said, no, they didn't. I'm looking right at it. It's not a towering inferno. It's a towering spark.
Are you reading Radar Online?
No, that was on Good Morning America. Maybe they're reading Radar Online.
Rusev's got to use the term dragging somebody through the mud of their hate next week. He has to. And come on, what a line.
He would make it work.
He would.
So anyway, this tag match here, as noted, it was completely irrelevant. There were 4 stars in the segment. The first was Titus O'Neil. Why is Titus not on commentary for every match all the time?
Well, you see, Vinny, he is the dad of the year, and so he has got to be the tag team. He's busy being the tag team champions right now. But yes, he was not as good as last time when he went all over JBL, but he was pretty good this time.
He was still the best commentator on the show. Even though most of his commentary was just burying JBL, Cole Saxton, and Darren Young for being horrible announcers.
I think JBL prepped for him this time.
That's possible. They were debating whether there actually are bullfighters in Puerto Rico. And as they're having this discussion, it's just, it's funny, but it's this goofy, pointless discussion. And then Saxton points out, hey, Titus, the Matadors are calling you out. And suddenly Titus goes into serious mode and says, they're supposed to call us out. We're the champs. He also notes that if they're calling us out, what they're really calling out is a whooping. Thank God for Titus.
Titus is excellent at his job.
And their jobs.
Yeah.
He's actually much better at their jobs than his job, really.
And a heck of a dresser.
And a snappy dresser. So, the Lucha Dragons make their come back. And then the New Day's music hits.
Oh, my God.
And, okay, here's the thing. Let's take this in chronological order. As mentioned, I watched this Tuesday afternoon. So, by now, I had seen your tweet declaring their entrance to be your new favorite wrestler.
Yes.
And I had seen the entrance itself via animated GIF.
Yes.
So I knew exactly what was going to happen.
However, let me say one thing about the animated GIF that you saw, unless you saw one I didn't see. Everybody's animated GIF was them coming down the ramp. Now, after they came down the ramp, they rounded the corner and they started going around the ring. This was also amazing. Because it's one thing for Kofi to be doing his skipping clap, which was unbelievably great going down the ramp, but to see him doing the same thing as he's maneuvering and turning corners was even better. He never takes his eyes off the ring as he's going around the corners. This is the greatest entrance I've ever... This surpasses Finn Balor's entrance as the greatest entrance I've ever seen.
Skipping, huh?
Yeah!
I wrote prancing.
Well, he was skipping.
Both are accurate.
Yeah.
Technically, if you watch just his feet and you watch what a skip is, that's what he was doing.
All right,
but
maybe
yes.
you can say that Big E was prancing, but Kofi was definitely skipping.
Now,
Big E's way too big to prance.
oh no, Big E pranced.
Oh, he pranced all
Big
right.
E's prancing. So, here's the key to all this.
Who was your favorite, Vinny?
Oh, Kofi.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was mine too. But I bring it up because I
just watched Kofi over and over and over again. He's got this down. Like no one ever gotten anything down.
Oh my God, it was amazing. But I was watching, and Whitney was in the room, and I started howling with laughter. And she's like, "What are you laughing about?" And so I rewinded, and I'm laughing, and I rewinded again, and I call her up, and I'm like, "Look at these fuckers. Just look at them." And she looks at him, and she starts laughing. And we rewound it over and over again. And she was the one that just goes, "Forget the guy in the middle. Look at the big guy on the end."
Yes.
She was way more into Big E's whatever he was doing.
He was almost...
He was trying to recreate the Patterson-Gimlin film with the long stride.
It was not exactly goose... It was high-stepping,
something
like a marching
that,
band leader.
Don't say goose-stepping right now.
It was totally different. But so the point is, they had no pyro. They had no light show. This was 3 men and a sign they made with a marker backstage. And you were correct. This was the best entrance of the year.
It was
Finn Balor won't top this.
No,
Taker
nobody
won't
will.
top this.
Nobody will.
This was so awesome.
And then today, she's at the Lighthouse. She's working up in Friday Harbor. And just like a bunch of shit was happening, and she was all frustrated, and she starts texting me, and she's upset about this person and that person, and she's sent me like a half dozen texts. And finally, I sent her a text of the animated GIF. I said, "This will make you feel better." And the very next text was, "I do in fact feel so much better." This will cheer anybody up. No matter what's going on in your life, if you show somebody the New Day skipping and clapping to the ring, I guarantee they'll feel better.
Did I mention, by the way, that at one point, Torito did something. The camera actually totally missed it. He interfered or something. But this happens, and Cole tries to explain Torito did something, and then Titus just says, "That's bull!" I laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed.
This totally turned the show around for me in a lot of different ways.
Titus and, all the New Day, but especially Kofi. They really saved this segment.
Yes.
So they were so awesome, they distracted everybody, and the Dragons went with the roll-up. So the Dragons leave, and then the New Day is dancing to the Dragons' music, mocking the Matadors. So the story of this segment is that Titus and the New Day are great, and none of the teams like each other.
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. It can never be topped.
Is it going to do a 4-way at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, it sure looks that way.
I think so, yeah. In fact, I'd be stunned if they didn't. This is the WrestleMania this summer, so it's going to be that deal where you've got to get everybody on the card.
Good call.
There's going to be a bunch of multi-person matches, probably some goofy pre-show battle royal or something, and you know the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper came out for a spooky promo. Bray said something about a pet who ran away and learned the world was dangerous and came home. He said he had set Luke free so Luke could learn the truth. And Luke said he would give his life for Bray. Bray said if Roman really cared about Dean Ambrose, he would tell Dean to leave forever and save himself.
Duly noted.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte versus Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. The top of the third-hour match. It was fine.
Let me say something here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have been very down on the Bellas of late, particularly Nikki Bella. She was pretty goddamn good in this match. She did not stick out like she didn't know what she was doing. I was watching eagle-eyed the whole time, just waiting for something that I would be able to rant about. And at the end of the day, there was nothing. She went in there and she hit all of her spots and everybody looked good and she didn't hold anybody back. And she fit right in here with these girls. So 2 thumbs up for Nikki Bella this evening.
Yeah. So Becky Lynch has gotten the fun to watch label from JBL.
Oh, God. What next?
Yeah. And Alicia tried the schoolboy, the most devastating move of 2015, but Becky had it scouted and turned it into her armbar for the submission win.
That's right.
And poor Alicia landed on her head at one point, took a knee to the face from Charlotte at another point, and the poor girl has a concussion.
Does she really?
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
It's on your website.
I haven't been on it today. I've been busy rearranging furniture, for Christ's sake.
Alicia got a concussion in this match, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The headline came through my Twitter, but I didn't actually click on it. So that sucks.
That does suck.
Somebody I thought got hurt last night.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, somebody I thought got hurt, but apparently they didn't. It was, who was Neville wrestling?
Fandango.
That's right. I thought Fandango got hurt.
Keep going back to that match.
Oh, he when he hit that plancha.
Yeah, he had a planche. He landed right on top of the guy's fucking head.
Yeah, it looked like it sucked.
Yeah, but apparently he's fine, so Tough guy, that Fandango.
Speaking of tough, we got eliminations from Tough Enough. Or one elimination. I don't watch this show, but I saw JJ came out on Raw and decided he was awesome. And they have 3 of them standing here. And there's...
You mean ZZ?
Is it ZZ?
It is not JJ.
Why did I put JJ?
Because he's your brother-in-law or something like that now.
I do have a brother-in-law named JJ. What
Yeah.
was I thinking of? So
It's because of JJ that you're married.
I did meet JJ first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was JJ and bowling that led to Bridget, that led to us getting you guys together. So yeah, you can thank JJ.
Wife is Gwen, and Gwen's sister is my wife. So there you go.
He is a living Homer Simpson.
Yes.
I didn't know if you're going to confirm that, but it's a fact.
Yeah. So ZZ, not to be confused with JJ, ZZ is standing there shirtless and big man boobs hanging out. And I say that as a man who knows his man boobs. And ZZ did not get eliminated.
No. You haven't been watching the show, Vinny. ZZ is the guy that's 18. He's the
alligator wrestler.
Yeah.
And he was the one when they came out on stage on Raw, I said that guy should win.
That's right. He's the most likable guy in the whole world. But yes, he's very fat, and he's constantly failing every physical challenge. And so
that sounds bad for professional wrestling.
Every week they put him in the bottom 3.
He's also short.
And every week he's not that short, but he's he's not Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But every week they put him in the bottom 3, and every week he survives. That's the gimmick.
And then after this, they showed Big Show chopping some dudes, and I read about this in the Observer, and thank God they only showed the chops to the men who actually sold.
Well, I mentioned this on the Dave Show, but I mean, if you're there, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? It's like it's tough enough, and it's supposed to be a physical challenge. So there's that part of you that thinks, well, maybe I should just act tough and not sell it, right?
Sure.
And there's the other part of you that thinks, well, maybe I should sell it like I'm about to have a heart attack. What do you choose?
If you're the producer of the show, you don't show the dudes who didn't sell it.
Well, unfortunately, he showed everybody.
Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. And as you noted, Randy Orton looked 9 feet tall out here.
God damn, I don't know what it was, but Kevin Owens just looked so short. I mean, did he look this? I know that like Randy Orton is taller than John Cena, but
yeah,
did Owens really look this short against Cena when they had their?
No, Owens and Cena look the same size.
I was like, did Orton wear lifts out there just to further dwarf this man? What the fuck's going on here? He seriously looked like he was 6'8".
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I first noticed it when he was feuding with Bryan, which was a year ago now, almost exactly a year ago. And at the time, I just thought, Randy Orton looks really, really tall, but I'm sure that's because he's working with Daniel Bryan. And then he moved on to whoever he feuded with next, and he's still huge.
Oh, yeah.
So something happened in summer of 2014. He got super lifts in his boots.
Or, maybe he's been deadlifting, because that can add a little bit of height as well.
Can it really?
Or maybe, secret option number 3, Randy Orton is tall and thin. Kevin is short and not.
I would buy that.
You know what I mean?
I would buy what you're saying there, the optical illusion part.
But you never notice it against anybody else.
They had a stare down where they were just standing there, not even eye to eye. Owens was eye to throat.
Yeah, it was really weird. But yeah.
Was there a box in the ring I missed?
I don't know.
Maybe I'll be back.
He's standing on the fish.
All I know is I can imagine Vince watching this backstage and just going, what the fuck? And he's short.
Yeah. So Sheamus was on commentary talking about Randy Borton because he's so boring. So as long as we're marking up strikes for Kevin Owens, Orton grabs him to hit that backbreaker where he grabs the guy by the head and, bends his own back and drops to his knees with the guy over his back. Mm. And every other guy who's ever taken this move has kept on their feet and they hit his back and they kind of slide off. Owens kicks his feet high into the air. And Owens, while short, is still fat. And all of his weight comes down on Randy's back. Mm-hmm. And Randy did not look like he liked that one bit. So Orton made his comeback, and they brawled on the floor. And then Sheamus jumped up and dropped Orton with a bro kick.
Yippee!
A DQ.
Welcome to semi-main events, Kevin Owens. Bullshit finishes in nothing matches.
I was trying to decide, is Owens now upper mid-card, or is Orton down to just mid-card?
Well, they're all,
it's a huge jumble, and it's weird to see Orton as part of the jumble.
It looks like they're going to do another 4-way.
Yes.
So they're all at this moment at an equal level.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the winner's going to get a championship match or what the gimmick is, or they could do 2 singles matches. I don't know, but
It
they're
looks-
all involved with something.
Could be a very bizarre pointless tag. Anyway.
Could be, yeah.
So yeah, Cesaro ran down to make the save, and he was running wild, and then Owens hit him with a pop-up powerbomb. And it was actually a great pop-up powerbomb entirely due to Cesaro, who jumped really high in the air.
Cesaro's great. Hey, thank God Cesaro's involved in all this.
That's true. That's true.
An elevation for Cesaro into a random 4-way feud.
I did like how Owens got the heat by ragdolling Randy Orton against the barrier. That was awesome. And I don't know if I haven't been paying attention, but I noticed this for the first time last week. Sheamus has a nose ring.
I have not noticed that before.
Yeah, that may be new. Were you paying enough attention to see that they announced Brock Lesnar for the show next week?
Say what?
I didn't notice this.
Okay, so nobody
Well,
noticed this.
I did not notice it. I know there was some debate or controversy. I will say,
I didn't notice it. Dave didn't notice it. None of you noticed it.
I
Apparently,
started,
it happened 3 times, I was told.
I started the show very, very late, and I was fast-forwarding a lot just to make sure I could finish it and come do this show.
Well, you know what? It's still not a very good job promoting Brock Lesnar. If Dave Meltzer, as well as me and the 3 of you, or the 2 of you, also missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like an in-ring segment might have been nice. I don't know.
Could have announced at the start of the show when Hunter's out there and we're all watching.
Yeah, you could have. The Beast will be here next week.
Yeah. Have Seth react to this. I guess Seth doesn't care anymore. Anyway, Seth Rollins versus John Cena in the main event. And for a while, I was watching this going, this is a fine Raw main event, but I'm not exactly clamoring to see them rematch on pay-per-view in a few weeks. And then they're standing in the ring, and they're trading punches, and Seth says, I know. I'll hit him with a jumping knee to the face. And then he hit him with a jumping knee to the face. And Cena's nose exploded. He collapsed in the corner, bleeding everywhere.
Leaking like a faucet out of the guy's nose.
Yes. And they showed this in super slow-mo, and yeah. Imagine if a man jumped up and hit you in the face with his knee. It would suck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I was just I had heard that they did the spot with the I knew that Seth had broken Cena's nose, but I didn't know how. And I'm thinking, think of all the ways that a man could break a man's nose. There's a million things that could go wrong, blah 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 blah. I was not expecting it to be this. Like, when the fuck has Seth Rollins ever done this move? It was like one day he just decided, you know what I'm going to do in this match with John Cena tonight? I'm going to leap in the air, and I'm going to knee him right in the face.
Well,
and then he grabbed his head, and he did it. This was like at a blood sport.
It was.
to be fair, he does do the knee off the top.
He doesn't knee off the top, but he doesn't do this thing.
No. Maybe he shouldn't
And
do it
then
again.
they show it in slow motion, and his knee hits John Cena's nose, and you just see John Cena's face go whoosh, like the Zapruder film, back into the left, and his nose is all of a sudden in his cheek.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, and the dude just kept going.
Dude, okay, he's down, obviously making sure his face is still attached to his head, and the ref pulls Seth away, and I'm sure they could all see the blood everywhere, and the doctor runs over, and Cena's response to seeing the doctor is, fuck this, and he leaps to his feet, and he begins to attack Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through and they did a bunch of stuff. Eventually, the doctor was able to check on him a couple times just to make sure that, yes, your orbital bones are intact. You're not actually in any danger of getting hurt worse. But his nose was broken badly.
Oh, yeah. And when he first went down, he's in the corner, and the referee goes over to him, and for a moment, John Cena just takes his hand, and he, puts his hand out like, hold on, buddy. Give me a second.
Yeah.
And it's literally like 5 seconds, and then, all right, here we go.
Yes.
And he's
Now,
off to the races.
We have mentioned, we've asked the question, would you rather be hit in the balls or punched in the nose?
I'd rather be hitting the balls.
Yeah. Being hit in the nose sucks. Having your nose broken must suck really bad. I wouldn't know. I hope to never find out. But I'm thinking that was a lot of pain he was in.
I'm sure he was, yes.
And I'm
a lot
sure
of pain.
that just like walking around would be painful, Breathing would be painful, let alone taking, I don't know, superplexes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought, okay, well, your nose is broken. Let's, it's after the top of the hour, for fuck's sake. You don't have to go 18 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's just do a couple spots and home we go. Oh, no.
We are not John Cena.
No, the guy just kept going and going and going.
From John Cena.
And man, the place, when he won the match, and he's standing there with his nose just destroyed, and he stands up, and the place is just going crazy for John Cena. And he's like, no, thank me, thank you. Everything he said, say, I love you.
That's right.
Like Tanahashi. What a babyface.
So, yeah, the second half of this match was awesome. The whole first 3 or 4 rows were all on their feet by the end for the whole last 5 minutes. And Seth hit the superplex, hit a Falcon Arrow, got a near fall out of that. Cena still kicked out. And so Seth goes up top, misses the Phoenix Splash, lands on his belly, and Cena pounces, hooks the STF, and for once in his life actually cranks in the thing, and Seth taps out.
Probably like, I'll get you.
I'll tear your damn head off. So yeah, that turned around and was completely nuts. And JBL, I've buried him a lot on this show and others, but he summed things up perfectly a few times when he just said, John Cena is one tough son of a bitch.
Well, John Cena is one tough son of a bitch.
That is a fact.
That is a fact. They had shots from... so funny because he goes backstage with a broken nose, and I guess the first thing that happens is they send some guy up to say, hey, let's get some pictures for the website.
Exactly.
They've got a series of pictures of this poor fucker. He's standing there with his nose all asunder, and, they're like, hey, smile. So there's one of them smiling.
Oh, God.
And then the next thing you know, here's how they've handled his broken nose. They get a giant ice pack, and he's just smashing it on his nose. Like, that's how tough that guy is. Oh, can you imagine? I bet you anything he's wrestling this weekend. I bet you anything.
Probably on SmackDown.
Guaranteed. I don't know about
Actually,
Steve.
he's never on SmackDown.
No one wrestles on SmackDown.
But by the way, we asked this question last week. No Taker, no Lesnar, no Heyman.
That's right.
Good.
I know.
I that's what I wanted. They showed enough footage of the deal.
Twice.
Yep, and it's not like they could have done it again. Now he is going to be there next week, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. Hopefully they don't fuck it up. Craig's idea of Undertaker running him over in a hearse is literally exactly what I'm afraid of. Oh man, we'll see.
So how many steak dinners does Rollins buy Cena?
Oh man, you better buy him more than a steak dinner. You better buy him a whole cow.
Remember that Cadillac?
Yeah.
Go get 2.
That's fair.
Cena likes cars.
That's fair.
So,
right.
You gonna play a song or?
Yeah, this is from Billy Youssef, our buddy Billy.
Oh yeah.
Since you mentioned the Count on last week's show, and with the unnecessary censorship contest coming, I thought that this tied in nicely. It has nothing at all to do with wrestling or the show, and
Perfect.
I cannot take credit for this. It was created years ago. It is The Count, Unnecessary Censorship. So here we go. Watch there be a video first. I figured. I refuse to acknowledge that. All right, here we go.
You know that I am called the Count because I really love to.
That was a long beep right there.
I sit and all day, but sometimes I get carried away. I slowly getting faster. Once I start in it's very hard to stop. Hey, faster, it is so exciting. I could forever until I drop.
I love being able to see Vinny howling over there now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, I love whatever the amount. 1, 2,
He's just shaking, and his hands are just, they're making fists and they're shaking.
1, 2, that's the song of the Count.
Maybe we do need a webcam.
I the spiders on the wall. I the cobwebs in the hall. I the candles on the shelf. When I'm alone, I myself. I slowly getting faster. Once I start it's very hard to stop. Faster, it is so exciting. I could forever until I drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I love whatever the amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's the song. Oh, the count. Hey.
It's the lost audio from the Hogan tape.
That's going to be a tough one to
let's just not do the contest and send him a prize.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to top right there. But at least, hey, now y'all know how to do it.
Wow.
That was a good one right there,